Hey, what's up, everybody? Keontae Sampson here, and welcome back to Before the Scenes, where I talk about the stories I'm planning to tell, about what's happening now, a little of what's coming, and sometimes discuss what's occurred in the past to lead here. Today, we're going to discuss how I want to tell stories. Speaking of which, I hope you enjoy the way I started this video because chances are it's not going to happen again. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not my style. And there's a reason for that. I just wanted to highlight the differences. I know. Why make it a point to actively avoid opening video in a way that's popular and friendly? Well, you spend enough time on the internet, and I'm sure you'll find plenty of people who claim to have identified several negative, deep-seated cultural and psychological motives for these habits. I couldn't care less. I just want to make films instead of videos.
Yeah? What's the difference? Presentation!
Alright, obviously the differences are more complex than that, but this month's episode is about my own MP, method of presentation. There is a prevailing habit in our world of presenting things in ways that are quick, easy, economical, and don't require long attention spans. This is both practical and efficient, at least in theory, but life wasn't really designed to be practical and efficient. For certain, humans weren't, and in particular, stories weren't. Consider The Lord of the Rings. You know what would have been really useful? Flying to Mordor.
We need a walk! We need an airplane!
Okay, so they couldn't exactly book a flight, but I'm guessing an eagle could have flown Frodo right over Mount Doom, and he could have dropped the ring inside long before he became this. Maybe not, though. Maybe eagles weren't an option until Gandalf encountered that particular moth in Isengard. Maybe one couldn't simply fly into Mordor before being intercepted by the Nazgul. Whatever the deal, the most important thing to remember is no one cares. No one wants to watch the movie that I'm describing. If Gandalf had continued using birds to solve all their problems, even the 90 minutes it took for Frodo to reach Rivendell in the first place would have been almost completely stripped of meaning. It's not just a plotline, though. This goes for the work put into building the movie as well. In this line of work, not every shortcut is worth taking. They are necessary sometimes, but I don't think we needed to get rid of theme songs in television.
The future holds no theme songs.
Huh?
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I tried to make each episode like a movie. Well, not really, but more than just a video. The reason I don't start each episode with an energetic greeting is because I don't talk to people like that normally. But I'm still figuring it out. I said before that I'm not going to try and make things work perfectly. No one who tries that ever succeeds. My method of presentation isn't about having a perfect creation or being better than the next guy. I just want to use my work to show more of what I love about stories and maybe life in general as well. For that reason, I refer to Before the Scenes as a feature with episodes, and I gave it a nice little title sequence. It's also the reason why every episode has its own original music. Of course, I did use some of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for this particular episode, but that's all going to be in the credits. Yeah, there's credits too. There's also the various ways that I record. Remember my trip to the Riverside Library? Well, you might remember that I recorded all that on my phone. But I also made it a point to hold the phone sideways so as to maintain a widescreen picture. Very few people do that. I honestly find it very annoying. All these things factor into my mindset when creating something. I especially like naming the episodes, even if that is part of an imperfect system. More on that another day. But the biggest proof of my methods is that I even made all this. Just so that what will exist one day can be seen from the perspective of a hopeful visionary, long before the fact. I'm here to show you the conception of something that hasn't yet been born. One of the main rules for any storyteller is to not tell, but show. This basically means that there's a difference between merely giving information and creating an experience, and every storyteller should aim for the latter. I could say that someone used a rope and a cannon to fight some meteors. Or I could say the mysterious stranger, armed with only a few yards of rope, was blasted into the sky at 1,000 miles an hour toward the flaming shower that stormed down over the helpless little town. And as he approached the cosmic avalanche, he threw his rope around the biggest boulder, blasting the gigantic stone with what I can only describe as unnaturally inborn skill. He then flung himself around the fiery mass in midair until he and the rock were practically orbiting each other. The boy released the meteor, using the momentum to catapult it safely into space and flinging himself into a second meteor. The townspeople on the ground could only watch in awe as this boy valiantly and expertly fought this heavenly battle right over their heads, swinging between each stone until one by one they all flew up and away from the ground. Better, right? You can do this with almost anything if you really want to. And personally, we definitely should look for those opportunities more often. You never know what a little poetry can do for someone's day. So until next time, I'm Keontae Sampson. Tune in next month to find out what happens before the scenes. Okay, to be fair, there would actually be some people who would go up to J.R.R. Tolkien and ask him why they didn't just fly to Mordor. And he actually had a very simple answer for them. Simply this.
Shut up.
See, he gets it.